I think one of the things that is most nerve-wracking for a lot of athletes during off season or reduced mileage, reduced intensity is feeling safe enough to eat, giving yourself permission to eat. A lot of times runners will inadvertently believe that they need to skip carbohydrates entirely or eat really low calorie because they are trying to preserve a certain physique or body composition during off season. The thing about off season is that it is a time to really focus on nutrient repletion. And while we may not need as much carbohydrate as we need during intense training periods, we do still need carbohydrate. So I actually wanted to really briefly go over a little presentation, so if you will, about how to think about fueling our body during off season. So before we begin, I want you to take a moment to think about how many minutes are you running right now, if at all? Maybe it's zero. Are you doing a certain amount of mileage right now? It should be reduced if you are. How many minutes are you doing other activities? Are you hiking, going to classes, walking? Are you lifting during your off season? This is something I definitely encourage during off season. And what is our activity like outside of exercise? Do you have a very active job, for instance? We want to take all of these things into account when we're thinking about how to set up our breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack plates. So, we are going to talk today about the easy performance plate because this is where some people will find themselves during off season. Now, depending on how active you are during off season, you might need a moderate performance plate. I really hope you don't need a hard performance plate because then I don't think you're actually taking off season seriously. But the easy performance plate is for the person who is running 15 or miles a week or less and not really doing anything else that's intense. So if you're doing Orange Theory Fitness or some kind of, cross training that's very intense, that potentially would kind of kick you into that moderate performance plate. When you are working out, it shouldn't be super long. You shouldn't be, doing 2 hour runs, 4 times a week. We're working out for about less than 4 hours a week. And, this oftentimes does apply when you're in off season or potentially taking time off for injury. When we're thinking about snacks during our easy performance plate time of life, the snacks really should be very color based. So we should have snacks like we talked about in our first training video together when I sent you a list of those snack ideas. You may have noticed they were really emphasizing color and anti-inflammatory fats and nuts and seeds. They really were very nutrient dense. And so, for instance, color-based snacks when you're in this easy performance plate season of life would be things like carrot sticks paired with Greek yogurt. And sometimes I like to add like some ranch seasoning in there, maybe even a scoop of sour cream, just to kind of make that Greek yogurt have a little bit of flavor and zest when I'm dipping my carrot sticks or my Mary's Gone crackers in there. Bada bean snacks with, some fresh melon or watermelon or berries. These are great ways to get fiber and protein. When we're looking at the way our plate is going to kind of look, half of our plate should be color. It should be fruits and vegetables. About a quarter of our plate is going to be a protein-rich food. For my plant-based athletes, this means things like seitan, tempeh, tofu, edamame. We can add things like beans and nutritional yeast to meet those protein goals of about 20 to 30 grams of protein on that plate. We're aiming for about a fist or a cup of cooked carbohydrate. That could be like potato or rice or quinoa. Again, we don't want to skimp on carbohydrates just because we're in this less intense period of training. And then we're always making sure to add that anti-inflammatory fat as well to our plate. In Eat Like an Athlete Bootcamp, one of the things that I teach you is how to really make sure you're getting enough food during training and during off season. And for those of you who are even interested in learning how to do some light macro tracking, I actually do teach you how to kind of think about macro tracking as a tool that you can temporarily use to make sure you're getting enough fuel without kind of becoming this obsessed macro tracking person. Or you can kind of just keep using the estimates that we were you're kind of hitting on today by thinking about plates and estimating serving sizes as we discussed in today's training. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction of what your plate should look like right now in this off season. If you are in that performance plate that is easy category, we're aiming for about half of our plate to be fruits and vegetables, a quarter of our plate to be protein, and a quarter of our plate to be carbohydrate. And we want to make sure we're adding some anti-inflammatory fat to that as well. The recipes that I have included here today in this segment are recipes that are congruent with an easy performance plate, so I hope you enjoy them. I'll be in your inbox next time, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can take this off season and make sure you're setting yourself up for your best race season coming up this spring.